We've made it to 25,000 subscribers, a quarter of a way to that 100k black. So big love to everyone, whether you've been supporting from back in the day or you found me in the last 9 days that I've been doing daily videos. I asked you guys on ID to send me any questions you want, from football to content, just general life stuff, and we ended up getting like 400 questions. So I've picked 50 of them to try and get through as many of you as possible. Some will be quick fire, some will go a bit more in depth, just so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. Enough yapping, let's tuck in. Question 1. Kevin Sternberg asked, did I ever play for any team? Yes, I did. As you can see, I do have trophies here. My prime years, Sportsman of the Year 09, 010. This was my Valley Park era. That's the team that I first played for from, I think it was about 08 up until like 2012. We're playing Cell Kent C League, we won that. Cell Kent B League, we won that. We go into the A League, we were top. And then we disbanded. Unfortunately, guys weren't paying their subs. I had a tiny little spell at Long Lane for a bit of fitness. And then in 6th form, I played for Hayden Youth, who just bare man from my school. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I knew I was never going to make it pro because I was never that guy. I was like a Theo Walker, if you will. Like, I could run in behind for days and I could finish. But I'm not here to do no dribbling and techie stuff. That's not me. I'm like a 2-star skill kind of guy. Some of you will have seen that because I've been playing in those charity matches against the likes of Gilberto Silva, or I was captained by Roberto Carlos. Hopefully this upcoming year you get to see a lot more IRL football content. Passer asks, have you ever done any coaching stuff? Yes, I have. Again, on the same little trophy cabinet, if you will, I've got more accolades from when I was coaching. I want to say around 2016 up until about COVID times. I was coaching my little brother's team, so I'd go uni, I'd come back for the weekend, we do training, we play the match, I'd go back to uni, I'd come back for the weekend. I loved it. I do have an FA youth coaching license, but hey, maybe one day, them UEFA ones, the only problem is them are not expensive. But yes, I have done coaching from under 10s up until, when were they, under 15? Manny asks, what is the best version of Cristiano Ronaldo? This one is difficult because unfortunately, kids nowadays don't know about AIG Ronaldo. They don't even know about Vodafone Ronaldo. But if I got a pinpoint, 5 years, let's say, out of his 25 year career, I'll go from 07 to 2012. Like the way he ended at United with the Ballon d'Or, insane on the right. He went to United. CR9 is even underrated, you know. CR9 when he first joined, and then he was playing left wing. And as a young kid, listen, the aesthetics, they gotta move you as well. I know all of you watching, you used to wear white socks on top of your football socks to try and be like Ronaldo. Don't lie, I was doing it as well. Emerson asks, dream collab. I'll be real, I've done it already. In terms of like football creators or podcasts or whatever, SDS is the one that I've been watching since day one. Like, I've been there from the inception them times. So when their man shouted me to jump on, I said, yeah, this is like the Ghana international call-up that I never got. And I really enjoyed it. I think the comments enjoyed it. I thought it would just be you guys that would be in the comments like, yeah, cold. But they were bare man saying, I don't know who the hell that geezer is, but I like him, bring him on more. So that was very nice to see. If you mean like outside of, I guess, the football content guys, I'd love to be doing content with retired players that I loved growing up. But the ones you don't get to see much content from, so like the misunderstood ballers, your Adebayors, your Balotellis, Kevin Princes. Listen, it may never happen, but wishful thinking, innit? The Deluded Gooner asks, when you back on channel, you pagan. Look at how guys are treating me, bro. It's a nice celebratory video. But as you man know, and I'll tell him directly as well, I'm around, I'm here. With me, I don't really care. I know I was gassing up the SDS thing before, but again, other podcasts of whatever sizes, if you shout me and I like your content, I will jump on, bro. I don't care about like making bread or million views or this and that. I just like talking football with people that can balance obviously the football knowledge, but also making it funny as well. I don't really enjoy content where it's just purely to get like rage bait Twitter clips. That's not really for me. Switchblade asks, would Joseph B can make it in today's game? The answer is absolutely one of the biggest frauds I've ever encountered. I'm not gonna act like he was meaty, yeah, but look, he was putting up alright numbers, and then suddenly, by coincidence, he scored well over 400 goals in 200 games. Guess what years it was? From 1939 to 1945. So when all his age mates were there fighting in the war, this guy was stat padding versus the refugees and the young kids that couldn't get conscripted. Bear in mind, Hungary was a hotspot for the war as well, so that's shameless. Don't pick on someone your own size. And he asks, are you going World Cup next year? Hopefully. I just gotta keep working. You guys gotta keep liking and subscribing so that the big brands, they see me, they're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's send this guy to the World Cup. The illustrator asked a question that a lot of you had, and that is, why did I start saying, for those of us who remember, I'm just a neek who watches really old football. And I actually couldn't remember why I started it until someone on Instagram, I forget the name, sorry bro, but I'll put a screenshot here, went to find the first time I ever said it, and I said it for a goal that Endrick scored for Real Madrid, and it reminded me of his idol, Sir Bobby Charlton, back in 1958. for those of us who remember. And obviously the guys in the comments, they were like, oh, what do you mean, Unc? How old are you? What kind of dinosaur is it? I just found it funny. And then I did it again, and then it became a gimmick now. People just start expecting it. On that topic, Benjamin asked, what is my favorite for those of us who remember? There are a lot of good ones. One day, I'll make a compilation, or one of you guys can make a compilation when I get to them kind of levels. But I think the nastiest one, because I've had some identical goals. If I want to go super niche, knee slide and pointing to his watch like he's Jacinto Facchetti in the Champions League. Scoring and pointing to his wrist in 1965. For those of us who remember. I think that one's a little bit more special because I met him whilst doing content for Crystal Palace. And I asked him, bro, what about for the celebration? Obviously, they were losing, but then it's your first goal, so it's a really special moment. At that point, who can blame you? And yeah, we had a bit of a laugh about it. YG asks, will you ever not remember? I'm going to keep it real with you guys, as always. Sometimes I'm thinking, the joke's kind of dying down like slowly, but then again I realize there's so many people that watch the videos in their entirety just to anticipate what I'm going to remember. So at this point, it's part of the gimmick now. If I stop doing it, there's going to be way more people that are going to be upset. And obviously, I've now started releasing the t-shirts that all say, for those of us who remember, either on the top, on the bottom, or somewhere on there. So as far as I'm concerned, the gimmick has to go on until, I don't know. Kamzi asked, do you watch any sports aside from football? The answer is pretty much no. I watch the basketball playoffs and then maybe tennis for Wimbledon. Nathan says, do you truly work for FIFA? I think when I used to say that, yeah, guys thought I meant like FIFA, the game or something. I'm talking like FIFA, the organization, scouted me directly to say, yo, we want you to do content for us and come and host events for us and blah, 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 do social media, whatever. So yes, to clarify, it is the actual FIFA, the organization. Ahmed asked, FM stream when? Hey, listen. For those of you who are unaware, I do stream on Twitch quite regularly as well. But I've only ever played FM like 3 times. So if you really want it, go follow me on Twitch. Maybe I'll squeeze a cheeky season or so before the actual football kicks off. Not Blob asks, favourite Ghanaian ever. Easy one for me, Kevin Prince Boateng. Obviously one of the first mixed race guys to be proper balling out for GH. I definitely used to buy all his shirts and rock that same Mohican as him in secondary school. Stefan asks, have you ever lived or been to Moldova? The answer is yes. I go there pretty much every 2 years or so. So I've been there many times. I'll be going again at some point in the next couple months as well. And keeping on the topic, I'm not going to add it to the question, but someone did ask me on Instagram as well if I can speak Russian. Listen, я знаю, как говорить по-русски. When I go there, nobody speaks English, so I got to be there like, yo, я хочу кушать, I don't know, blinchki or something to ask my grandma to make pancakes. Cause otherwise, if they're not speaking English, we have to communicate somehow, innit? Whereas when I go to Ghana, obviously everyone there speaks English. Right, there's not one person in particular, but bare of you have put the question, why are your dreads purple? Why are the purple dreads? Right now, they're not really purple, to be fair. They've faded time ago. But it's not really a complex answer, I can't lie to you. I used to have them red for a while, but then I realized so many like celebs and footballers would get the little red thing. So I thought, you know what? What's a colour that not many men will have the confidence to rock it? So I went and chose lilac or lavender, light purple, whatever you call it. Simply because I have the ability to rock it and look cold. And then 1 week later, or Lise when I got the same purple. But at this point, I've claimed it already. Vilixio wants to know which player, when disrespected by the current gen, angers me the most. For me, there's quite a few answers, and it's normally people that were not even there to watch the players. So when guys talk down on Rooney, I know they were not there when he was the face of the Premier League. When guys talk about Gerrard, oh, he didn't win a Prem, how can he be in an all-time 11? I know you weren't there watching Gerrard carrying that Liverpool team. They bring up like Robert Pires numbers, and again, I know you were not watching the 4-4-2 era. Even Drogba numbers, they try to act like he was meaty because he had a lot of seasons with like 8, 9, 10, 11 goals. Ashley says, no questions, from the show some love. Thank you. You know what? I appreciate that. There's too many toxic people, so love for that one. Lacha Pacha asks, who's better, Haaland and Mbappe? For me, Mbappe all day long. Adamski asks, what's your favourite manager slash playstyle? For me, it's a combo of two that shouldn't really go together, but footballistically, Arsene Wenger ball, but then with the mentality of Jose Mourinho. When I was coaching, I was like Jose on the touchline. I'll be there doing the little digs and the mind games, but then the football to watch, it has to be Arsene Wenger football. MFU says, I haven't seen it run this generational since the US beat England back in 1950. How do you do it? To be honest with you, my motivation is just, I want to be the best. I want people from any kind of walk of life to be able to tune in and enjoy. So whether you are a proper football analyst, you should be able to enjoy it. If you just come here for the humour, enjoy it. For the history lessons, enjoy it. I'm not here to just read off Wikipedia or Excel spreadsheets of just numbers. Like, I don't care about that. I'm just here to try and be entertaining, but also teach you guys as well. Ladislav asks, what fragrance do you use? I got a clip for you right here, son.
What aftershave have you got on?
Yves Saint Laurent.
Every time he moves, it smells amazing. Genuinely.
Is it?
Yeah, bro, every time he moves.
You not put this on at like 9 AM or something?
Yeah, it's crazy. Shout out.
Well, no, they're not paying me for that, so don't.
Yeah, no, don't shout out.
Really.
I'll take a shout out back.
Like, well done, but like.
Right, the next one, I'm obviously not going to put this guy's name, but he says, I'm struggling a bit mentally and is congested with thoughts of giving up. Do I have any advice? Obviously, everyone's different, but I think we all go through these kind of stages, some more severe than others. But I'd say just keep occupied, because for me, overthinking is the worst, because it's always going to be the worst case scenario that you're thinking about in your head for whatever situation it is, especially if it's something out of your control. You can't really be stressing about it, but sometimes it's good to just find like a brand new TV show and just binge watch that so that you're kind of immersed in a different world for as long as possible, and then eventually, hopefully, whatever it is you're going through, time will pass and things should be calm again. Alta asks, how long does it take to research stuff for one reel? I'm gonna be honest with you lot, I don't really do research, bro. I know it costs me at times because people get angry when I just start saying things, but I want to reiterate, I'm not sofa score. If you guys just want to go and read numbers, go and ask Grok or chat GPT. I just give my opinions. If you don't like it, that's okay. So long as we can debate and have conversations politely, rather than saying, you stupid clown this, you numpty, why are you saying that? Just say, you know what, cool video, I disagree with this part, and then we can have a nice convo. Respected Knight says, just want to say I love the content, just keep pushing and don't switch up because of the money. What makes you, man, I think I have any bread, bro? I'm still just a random guy, and I'll continue to be a random guy, whether I have the 100k plaque or somehow get to 1 million on TikTok, wherever. Ask guys that knew me back in school, I'm the same brother. Jay wants to know who's the worst player I've ever seen, so I assume live in the flesh. I'm not going to just say any randos, so I'll say someone that I expected good things from, but were terrible when I saw them in person. And unfortunately, that person is someone that must hate going to North London, because Enzo against Tottenham was the worst midfield performance I've seen from someone that's supposed to be good, and then Enzo against Arsenal in the 5-0 was the second worst, or maybe even worse than the Tottenham one, in terms of just getting run ragged completely the whole game, loose passes, couldn't impact the game. So yeah, out of players that are actually good, I'll go him. Arham asks, do you think Verse is going to flop at Liverpool? No, impossible. I think he's going to be incredible. Nathan Mitchell says, you reference Dragon Ball a lot in your videos. Do you watch any other anime? The answer is no. I've been a Dragon Ball guy since childhood, like 4 years old, 5 years old. I used to draw Dragon Ball characters, I used to watch it, I play it on PS2, PS3. I had a brief spell in secondary where I watched Naruto for like a year, but it got to the war and there was like 500 characters that I couldn't keep track. I was like, you know what, I'll allow it. Hadi Ganadri asks, how do you keep up with so many leagues and games? Listen, I'm not going to say anything too tough yet because I need that Flash Score sponsor, but I definitely use that app a lot so that I know who's playing each day, and then I'm just a massive nerd. I love watching football. I don't care what league it is. If I got spare time whilst I'm editing, it can be 1 a.m, chuck on the Brazilian league. Speaking of which, Preordered asked me to rank the leagues based on entertainment. Based on last season, I'm going to go Serie A 1, La Liga 2, Prem 3. The Prem wasn't very good last year at all. Bundesliga 4 and Ligue 1 5 because it's pretty much a PSG walkover every year. But in general, overall, I'd swap the Serie A and Prem round for the last 20 years or so. So I'll put the Prem as number 1, La Liga 2, Serie A 3, Bundes 4, Ligue 1 5. Arda says Turkish League or MLS. I'm assuming by your name you're Turkish, and I'm giving you the answer you want. It's definitely Turkish League by a landslide. The fans are crazy, so hopefully I can get there one game this season. Let me know if you're my bodyguard so I don't get packed in the derby. Waha says, I love you. Upload 5 times a day, please. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I only have 2 eyes and 2 hands. I do all the planning, editing, recording, uploading, all by myself, so I don't have that much time in the day. The only help I have is the mate Yaz making these fantastic thumbnails, so go shout him for graphics. Tanai says, I dare you to tell me 5 good things about United in the last 5 years. Hey. Alright, 1, the Kobe celebration last season with the contracts was sensational. 2, I like the new purple training kit, that's kind of cold. 3, you got JJ Gabriel. Not many people know about him at all, but come back to this video in a year, 2, 3 years, and you'll definitely know about him, because right now he's only 14. Eesh, I need 2 more as well. Okay, 4, Amorim's jackets are kind of cold. And then 5, we get great crush out videos from the likes of Lies and Culture Cams when United lose, so I do enjoy them. Just want to say you deserve more from Abdullah. I appreciate it very much, but I believe I deserve whatever I have at the moment. I've only been doing the daily uploads for what, 9 days now. I guess this is day 10, so having 25k, I'm happy with that. Maybe some can say I'm underrated. By the end of the day, you get as much as you put in. Akimi says, if there was one football moment you could change, what would it be? Easy one. Asamoah Gyan scores the penalty. The way South Africa and the whole of Africa was backing Ghana that tournament, I promise you, man, we get to that semi-final, we're smoking Netherlands. And then in the final, hey, you never know what could happen. We could bang George, we could just be super amped up. The spirit of prime Nelson Mandela will be flowing through, and we'll somehow beat Spain and become the first African team to win the World Cup. Sadly, he hit the bar and then he went and scored in the shootout. DS says, how do you remember matches from the 1950s? Simple. I was a steward as my first job back in the Maracana 1950s. Jack says, do you think FIFA helped or worsened football Discord? This is a good one because although obviously FIFA has brought so many more eyes to football, it has kind of developed this myth that if you're slow on FIFA, you're meaty in real life, which is obviously not the case. And some icons just aren't going to ever work on FIFA. Caleb says, do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert? This might sound crazy given that I sit here for hours a day yapping to my camera, but for the most part, it's an introvert thing when you're around new people. I'm just quiet, I just gauge the situation. Then if I've known you for time or whatever, cool, I can be loud and bubbly and whatever. Alb says, your top 5 favorite sports podcasts. I'll go in order. 1 SDS. 2 Filthy Fellas, 3 Barra Brothers. I don't really watch any others other than that, so I can put myself in there, I guess, from the T90 pod that we had back in the day, but I don't have time to run that anymore. So that one has been out of service for the last year. Alsen says, where do you think United finish next season? 9th. Beru says, how many GA for Gyökeres in all comps? 25. I got 20 goals, 5 assists. Paolo Cesarez got a good question. He says, aside from the obvious ones, which historical player would you like to see live? I'm gonna shock you. My answer is Garrincha. I want to know what is the hype about. Because to me, watching his best ever all-time compilations, there's nothing in there that Bolasie can't do. He does a little two-step, doesn't even beat his man. So I feel like if I see a full 90 with my own eyes, I'll find out if he's just the favela version of Streets Won't Forget Baller. Yasir asks, misconceptions about content creating. The main one is just apparently that how easy it is. Because look, you might see a 1-minute TikTok and think, yeah, cool, life is easy. But you don't think about, obviously, all the editing and the planning and stuff that goes into it and then replying to all the comments. Because me, I think you guys can agree, I'm unlike most creators where they upload and then they go away. I reply to as many comments as possible. I'm not saying like it's harder than like a 9 to 5 or whatever. Definitely not, because look, I can wake up when I feel like it, pick the hours that I feel like. But there's also a lot of pressure to keep going every single day. As you guys know, I've posted maybe 600-700 days in a row on TikTok now, because if I don't post, I don't get paid. If I don't post, someone else will post and I will lose the viewers from that. So even on holiday, I'll be there finding time to still make way for videos. Jack says, thoughts on Carlos Baleba? Baller. Whoever gets him, they're eating. Ayokun asks, Batistuta or Shevchenko? These are 2 elite all-timer finishers, but I think in terms of the celebrations and the hair and whatnot, I gotta go Gabriel Bark it off Batistuta. I don't know how to pronounce, so my bad. I'm gonna just say XOXO, but he asks, Drogba or Torres? This one is difficult. Prime for prime. Torres 08 is insane, but eesh, the Drogba of 2 years later, one of the most complete strikers ever. So I think I'd just about go Drogba. Mateo says, what's the best goal you've ever seen live? I'm gonna go with El Neni at the Camp Nou, but that game as a whole, all 3 of MSN, Messi, Suarez and Neymar, scored bangers. So Barca won 3-1, but all 4 goals, incredible. Oladipo says favorite player ever. This one, it changes quite a lot. I don't have like one specific player, but if I give you a few names, you understand the kind of vibe that I like, because I'm there for like personalities. So the likes of Bolasie, Ibrahimovic, Balotelli, Ronaldinho, Kevin Prince. These guys that just make me enjoy the game more than just robots who stat pad numbers. The mate Hassan says, what would I like to achieve by the end of the year? I'd love to visit 3 new countries to watch football. Hopefully I can get South Africa in there, maybe Japan, and then one other country. And lastly, Joven says, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, hopefully happy, a nice yard, starting Project Mbappe or Project Marta, whichever one it may be. And content-wise, I guess hopefully a lot more mainstream filming content with all the players that I've loved growing up over the years. That's 50. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. If I didn't answer your question, apologies, but I'll do it again for 30k subs, 40k, 50k, all the way to that 100k plaque. Maybe I'll even get my dad on for a 50k special. So keep liking, commenting, keep subscribing, buy my retro tees, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow in a bit. Bosh.